What's up everyone, welcome to Akuma's Arsenal, and today we are reviewing the Rolex Daytona Cosmograph 116523. This particular model was released in 2000, and as you can see with this shot, it is a slate dial. So starting off the review, I want to talk about the whole watch as a whole, and as a whole the watch, everything works really well. The tachymeter, very easy to read, very easy to operate, very easy to understand. In this photo in particular, you can see how it has what's it called again? Screw down, I don't want to say lugs, but pushers, yeah, pushers for the chronograph. You screw them in, that increases the water resistance. I find that a very cool feature, because a lot of chronographs, I mean, it's kind of like the SNA 41 that I reviewed a little while back, or 43. So that combined with the two-tone with the gold, it all works really well. It all works really seamlessly. It's out there. It's very obvious that it's a Rolex. It's very obvious that it's a Daytona. However, the slate and the stainless steel kind of, tone it down a bit, which is something that I really appreciate. And obviously the quality is up to par. It is second to none. Rolex has always been the brand that whenever I handle their watches, they're just made extremely well. And there's nothing too crazy about the Daytona, in my humble opinion. It's just solidly built, robust, accurate. Everything lines up perfectly. There's going to be very little wrong with your Daytona, if we're going to be completely honest. It's a very beautiful watch, and I loved spending my time with it. So here we go. As you can see here, this is how it fits on the wrist, and I have smaller wrists. They're not the biggest in the world, but the 40 millimeters definitely it works with my wrist size, and I think the 40 can fit big wrist. It can fit small wrists. The bracelet is perfectly fine if you have smaller wrists. Cool thing about it is that it curves. It's a very comfortable fit. However, it's kind of hard to explain, but if you have really tiny wrists like that of like a small child, the bracelet actually has a lot of play, so you're never gonna really have to worry about fitting it or it not fitting or anything like that. Just bring it to your local watch dealer and it will be fine. And there we go. You can see that the beautiful crown on the bracelet, and boom, there it is. E-Man rocking a beautiful two-tone Daytona on his wrist. Very lovely. So it should fit you no matter what your size, your wrist size is. The bracelet, superb, very similar. I think it might be the same one as on the Explorer that Arnie let me handle. Just maybe a little bit different. I can't really remember. However, just very satisfying easy to operate. Wonderful clasp as well. So the movement in this bad boy is the caliber 4130, and as you guys know, I'm not much of a movement geek. However, I will leave a link in the description to a Hodinkee article that really explains the 4130 really well. It was just a kind of a step above the predecessor Rolex movement, which was a very heavily modified El Primero movement. So this model right here is the first generation of Rolex chronographs to have an in-house Rolex movement. So it's one of those things where you handle the watch, you do some research on it, like, oh well, that's pretty damn cool. Yeah, so I'll leave in the description to Hodinkee's article. Hodinkee does a great job writing their stuff, and as you can see here, this is the lume. It's not totally dark, but just trust me on this. This is pretty much the best lume that I've ever seen on a mechanical wristwatch. Definitely. Wonderful lume, super duper legible. However, I can't remember if there's lume on the track hand. I don't believe there is. Nope, there's no lume on the chronograph hand, so keep that in mind. So this is where we go into just sort of my general thoughts on the watch and kind of what it, I don't know, what the Daytona kind of means to me. So I believe the Daytona is the king chronograph, simply. I handled Arnie's Omega Speedmaster Reduced a little while back, so I've handled the Speedmaster. I've never handled a Primera before. However, just in my eyes, the Daytona is the king of chronographs. You know, they're highly sought after, they're iconic, and the beautiful thing about the Daytona is that it's not like, oh, just get a Submariner. It's a bit more subtle. These usually run higher in price than the Submariner. You know, they're more complicated, and the two tones and the are fairly expensive. Like, this is not a cheap watch. Like, this is a watch that not everyone can afford, and it kind of speaks in the quality, and it kind of speaks to the way you make it feel. It makes you appreciate it a bit more. You know, when you wear your SKX, you appreciate the fact that the SKX, anyone who saves up a little bit of cash can buy an SKX. But this is a watch that, realistically speaking, not everyone's going to be able to afford. So keep that in mind. This is a luxury wristwatch to the maximum. And look at the dial, and look how crisp everything is. Just the Rolex, the writing, the this, the that, the this, the that. Look at the shine on the on the sub dials. So damn lovely. You know, I believe this is the first mechanical chronograph I've ever had, and it's when I press down the pusher, and when I let it run for a little bit and let it reset, it's almost as if you can feel the movement kind of working, and it's really kind of interesting to feel, because you let it run for a little bit, you reset it, and you get this kind of feeling, like you can almost kind of feel the little vibrations in the watch and have everything move back, and then you hear that the setback, and it feels so damn nice. The Oyster case, I love it. On the Explorer, on the Daytona, on whatever kind of Rolex wristwatch, I love it. It's basically just like the stock. Like, if you want to make a watch, like, the real question is, are you not gonna have a variant of the Oyster, of the Oyster case? And this wristwatch is actually a family member's wristwatch. I'm not going to go into any more details, but it's just, it means a lot to me. It really, really, really does. This wristwatch means a lot to me. This special person in my life worked night and day, year after year, year after year, year after year, year after year, year after year. And this watch was a little bit of a signifying to kind of just say, like, you know what, I made it. And that's what a Daytona, a two-tone Daytona really says, is just like, you've made it. Very simply. This person wore this watch only to church, so yep, that's the wristwatch for you. I'm really curious to hear what you guys think about it. This is just some of my thoughts on the wristwatch. I had it for about a day, and I really did enjoy my time with it. Not even a day, less than a day, but a joy to have, a really joy to have. I believe this one has held up its value very, very, very well over the years, and will probably increase as time goes on. However, this is a watch that is gonna stay in the family, if you know what I mean. So there it is, guys. The Rolex Daytona Cosmograph 116523 review. Once again, everyone, thank you very, very much for watching, and Akuma out.